Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz.
And I'm entrepreneur Breezy Gipson.
And we're glad that you're here with us, rocking with us once again. This is our favorite time of the week. We love sharing all this information and good stuff with you. And of course, beats by yours truly. So, it's a fun time and I'm kind of excited to get to it. How about you?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. The beat goes on. And so, we turn the chapter to another show. And so let's do it. I mean, I'm excited about it.
All right, let's go. Okay, we're back with music industry news. Universal has generated almost $1 billion from subscription streaming in the third quarter, as overall revenues grew 13.3% compared to the same time last year. So, with their overall recorded music revenues, which includes streaming, physical, all that good stuff for the quarter, were 2.07 billion, which was up 10.1% from the same time last year as well. So the subscription streaming has gotten larger, which is, something to be expected because we've been seeing a lot of this trend going on. And that's a lot of money when you look at it, though. Like, to think just $1 billion came from streaming alone, subscription. So that means like it's not ad supported, but people are actually paying for it. So, that's always the better revenue because they pay out at a higher rate when people pay for it as opposed to listening for free. So those are some huge figures and something to definitely be aware of. What do you think?
Yeah, well, from an income point of view, a couple of, I guess, maybe three or four times we've spoken about subscriptions and how, when subscriptions were first mentioned, we'll do it again. When subscriptions were first mentioned a few years back as a way to generate ongoing income, people were entrepreneurs, businesses were slow to think about. And now think of the metamorphosis. Look at the metamorphosis. And man, there's a lot of folks grabbing that, offering subscriptions because they know that is ongoing income. And really, it's really grabbing on to some folks. So the trickle down is sustainable income. Now the trickle up, like you're speaking about with the big business, that's they may undergo some difficulties or expectancies are less than what they thought they were and stuff like that. But for the little man, that's the way to generate sustainable income. Or the little woman, sustainable income.
Absolutely. And, something to keep in mind, too, if you're one of those people that's concerned about how much artists get paid. So whenever you have a platform that gives you the option to listen for free with ads, or whether or not you want to pay the subscription every monthly to make sure that you're getting access to the music, if you pay, that means that the artist is going to get a higher percentage compared to if you're just listening for free. So just something to keep in mind. If you want to help support artists, go ahead and chip in the money monthly to make sure that they can actually afford to keep making the music that you love to hear.
Yeah, good point. Because, you and I know that trek that they undergo. There's a lot of expenses, a lot of expenditures from A to Z that an artist has to experience. And so just to get a wee bit back is a real blessing. So don't hesitate to support your artists any way you can.
Yeah. Yep. That's one of the best ways to do it. It really helps.
That's right. Makes a difference.
All right. And the Black Music Summit is heading to Ibiza, or Ibiza for some of us U.S. people, as we pronounce it. But the summit aims to kind of help shape the future of the music industry, specifically through live performances, panel discussions, keynotes, workshops, events, club nights. Apparently they're putting together a big to-do, and it's going to be led by some of the most influential voices in the music industry. So the Black Music Summit is going to launch a number of events in key locations all around the world leading up to Ibiza in the summer of next year. So, hey, if you got some money to be putting aside to make sure you can participate in that, now is a good time to start planning. And because it sounds like it's going to be really advantageous for the people who plan on attending. So, yeah, you know, I hear Ibiza is absolutely lovely. So, what better way to learn about the industry and kind of absorb what's happening in the business in a beautiful location? Why not, right?
Right. And years ago, um, the convention type of style of spreading the info was pretty big. People were joining, traveling, going to different places, different cities to attend major events of this nature that had to do with the music industry, the music business, foundations of the business, and coming out of there with some great information, which they took back to their home cities and put that in action. Okay, and so a lot of things happened where we got away from that, and whether it be COVID or other things like that. But now, to know that the opportunities are coming back like that, it's helpful. It's helpful to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And since you mentioned that, kind of brings us into another news story. But they're saying that the music event market is going to reach 481.4 billion globally by 2031. And they say that this is going to happen at a compound annual growth rate of 9.7%. So every year it's just going to keep increasing by almost 10%. So the global music event industry generated 152.2 billion last year. And so that's a huge increase that's coming up. And I'm excited to see that happen. So they're saying that, this is probably just attributed to growing internet penetration and the rise of importance of live performances across the globe that are, giving new opportunities upcoming because so many people didn't get a chance to partake in it during the pandemic. So now they're predicting a whole lot of growth for it, just like you were saying. So, for it to go from 152 billion all the way up to 481 billion, over the course of the next, almost decade, that's pretty incredible. So yeah, just something to keep in mind, just like you were saying, all those people go and take it back to their communities. Now's the time to cash in. If you got those ideas, go ahead and do the research, because hey, some of those billions could be heading your way, depending on how you do it.
Right. I can allude to a couple of decades ago, the old Dapper Dan events that took place in Atlanta, where many of people from different facets of the music industry would come and give seminars and stuff. People would travel from a long way. That event grew and grew and grew every year, and now I've got my eye focused a bit on that you presented a few months back about Sony constructing a big complex down in the Gulf Coast. I can't remember whether it's Mississippi, Louisiana, someplace like that, and where they're investing a lot of money, and they're going to have some really big events, just like what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. So
we'll check in on that and check the construction process and see where they are.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I know I missed going to live shows during the pandemic. How about you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
Just think, if you were feeling the itch to want to get out there, that means a lot of other people probably are too. And, the more value you can provide entertainment-wise, it's a great time to cash in on it.
Yep, absolutely positive.
All right, Sony Music has generated $2.15 billion from recorded music and publishing in the third quarter. And that's an increase of 16.4% compared to the same time last year. So their overall music rights operation, which includes the music and publishing, generated about 303 million more this year than it did the year before in the same quarter. So, we keep sharing these stories. The trends are still just steadily going up. And so that just shows you that the money's out there. Make sure that you have your proper registrations in order and all that good stuff. So that way, when your music is played, you actually get paid. So you got to make sure that you handle everything on the back end so you can take part in all this music money that's kind of floating around.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I don't mean to use that word over and over, but in other words, that's a sure thing right there. You got to do that.
Mm-hmm. And Amazon Music is now offering Prime members an expanded ad-free listing opportunity. So now it's much more music without ads as long as you're in shuffle mode. You'll have access to Amazon Music's catalog of more than 100 million songs, which is 50 times more than before, without ads. So Prime users can also check out on-demand, all-access playlists personalized to their tastes, download them for offline listening, all types of benefits. So what does this mean? Even if you don't want to use Amazon Music, if you think about how many Prime members there are out there, guess what this means? They're probably going to start shifting to Amazon Music because now they can listen without ads. So you need to make sure that your music is on Amazon Music. So a lot of these distributors that offer maybe the cheaper prices or free distribution kind of neglect Amazon Music. So if you're using one of those types of distributors, which there's nothing wrong with, but now would be a good time to make sure that your music's there. Because, I mean, how many times, even if you don't have Prime yourself, if you think about your neighbors, how many times have you seen the Amazon vans, trucks, or whatever pulling up to drop stuff off? So they've got a huge, huge audience that will probably be shifting over to using their streaming. So I don't know, just a little heads up. Sometimes you got to read between the lines of some of these news stories to figure out what that means for you and your career. And yeah, this time I'm just telling you flat out, make sure your music is on Amazon Prime or Amazon Music.
Yeah, because you didn't say 150,000, right?
No, 100 million songs. Yeah. So you got to make sure you're there because so many people have Prime. But yeah, now with them increasing their ad-free for their members, it's going to be something serious with what they're doing to the streaming game there.
Well, there are certain entities that are jealous of them, and they're trying to do everything they can to knock them off their progress. So I mean, but the beat goes on, and so got somebody offering a whole lot of different services. Hey, so that's good for the consumer.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with more music industry news right after this.
Okay.
This is Breezy Gipson from the Breeze team. How would you like to see an online platform that brings you people who've already indicated that they're interested in your particular type of business? Whether it's your music you're selling, hip-hop clothing, you got a restaurant or a cafe, or if you're an entrepreneur or agent for a business. Visit me at breeze2cheese.com. That's using the number 2, breeze2cheese.com, or click my bio link on my Instagram profile to see a live demo of how this can help you get more customers and make more money.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen. All right, we're back with more music industry news. A new Trapital report shows why hip hop's market share is declining. So they said that the U.S. hip hop recorded market or music revenues grew from $2.3 billion in 2020 to $2.7 billion in 2021, but its share of total revenue fell from 28.2% down to 27.7%. So once Trapital took a look at this, they figured out that one of the main factors contributing to the decline in the market share is the growing popularity of Latin American artists. So we had just shared about how, Latin American artists are doing, big numbers in the US. So what the deal is with this is that they're classified as a different genre by the people who count market share. So instead of, like Bad Bunny and some of the other ones, they're still rappers, but because they're Latin, they just get thrown in that category. So it appears that hip hop's market share is declining, but in reality, some of these genres are mislabeled. So it looks like hip hop is actually still holding on to its place, but something's got to be done with how these are reported. So it's kind of, if you think about it, it's just kind of weird to just classify a genre based on location when there's so many different styles everywhere. So, hopefully with Trapital bringing this to light, some things can change to make sure that artists are properly categorized as far as what genres they're actually in. Isn't that interesting?
That's very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. And speaking of that, I just want to give a quick shout out to the one and only artist Noop Ellington. And been in communication with him earlier this week, and he's going to be making an appearance with us. Well-known keyboardist, and got some hip hop in him, got some jazz in him, got some all kind of everything in him. So just wanted to get that out the way and salute Noop Ellington for his upcoming. And now he ain't shy about the music he plays. Okay, so our listeners can be looking forward to that.
Yes, it'll be great to have him back on the show. It's been some time, but super talented. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
All right. After teaming up with Sony Music Publishing to buy Ashley Gorley's catalog, Domain Capital closes a new $700 million plus fund. So Atlanta-based Domain and its subsidiary, Domain Capital Advisors, have closed that amount of equity commitments for a new entertainment fund and co-investment vehicle focused on film, TV, and music. So the company's already put more than $170 million of the fund to work across the entertainment media. So that means we're going to be seeing a whole lot more being snatched up by them. And of course, as we get the information, we'll pass it along to you. But yeah, Domain Capital is going to be something to look out for based in your city, Breezy. How about that?
How about that? How about that? So, hey, bring it on, bring it on.
All right, Live Nation and Brooklyn Bowl are opening a new location in Washington, D.C. So Brooklyn Bowl, D.C. is going to be located at Parcel B in Audiefield in the Buzzard Point neighborhood. So this is going to be the brand's first location in the D.C. metro area and the fifth national location for the bowling and music venue concept. So once again, we're talking about these live music opportunities. They're capitalizing and realizing that they can do more in all these different places, and they're making it happen. So hint, hint, if that's something that you're interested in, maybe check it out and see what you need to put in place, because you can start local, and it can grow into something huge just like this did. So, just good luck to you. Make sure you do your research, but sky's the limit. Don't think small with these opportunities, because we're seeing a lot of these larger companies buying up some of these festivals and expanding them just as this happened. So, something to keep in mind.
Yeah, well, as we've always said, any opportunity that you have to stack your cash, do it, because sometimes the situations present themselves for you to acquire a little something, and it's not all the time just spend everything you got along the way. No, you gotta chalk some cheese back for the rainy day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so whether it be equipment, whether it be other types of business acquisitions or whatever, do what you can to stay prepared. Even in this economy, you still got to put a little cheese back, so when something juicy pops up, something cool pops up, something advantageous business-wise, income-wise, profit-wise pops up, and be in position to acquire or participate. Yeah.
All right. And Sony Music Masterworks has acquired the live events company Mac Global. So this is their classical division. And so they've taken a majority stake in Mac Global, which is based in Dubai. And they do concert promotion, talent management, and events production. So their clients include the Dubai Opera, Aldana Amphitheater, Coca-Cola Arena, and many more. They produce concerts across the region, which includes the UAE, Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, India, and Saudi Arabia. So they're making some progress and expanding. It's kind of good to see classical music being preserved in this manner, and obviously it's got to be lucrative for them to be able to expand. So something to be aware of and keep an eye on, and we'll give you more information as it rolls out.
And speaking of expansion, I gotta say this. I'm really excited about. On one hand, I'm very, very excited about the expansion of women in music. Okay, women in the music industry, women in control positions. No, there's not enough of that going on, but I'm still happy to see some of the surfaces being scratched. It's a hard slate, but women are actually taking hold in many different genres and many different levels of the music industry, and that's a good thing. And I think some of the TV productions and cable productions for presenting various shows involving women in music, and especially in rhythm, in hip hop, in R&B, and soul, as you might want to call it. And so, there's some avenues that are popping up, and I'm glad to see it. So no slight to the men, okay, because they're doing their thing, they're on the grind. But hey, just throwing a salute out to the women in music right now.
Much appreciated. Yeah, we need to talk about that more often. And I feel like a lot of people are benefiting from, seeing this rise that you mentioned. And, because one of the things that kind of used to irk me is the phrase female rap. It's just like, ooh, what is that? Just because a woman's doing it doesn't make it just female rap or whatever the case may be. But I'm noticing people using more inclusive language. I'm starting to get called bro a lot less on social media. So yeah, it's really great to see women kind of stepping into their own, because in turn, It looks like society's noticing and, just kind of being a little less exclusive when it comes to us. So, yeah, shout out to the women in music for sure.
Yep.
All right. And the final news story for this week, YouTube is introducing handles. And just in case you haven't gotten an email, or maybe you're one of those people that's got 1,000 unread messages, but you can check your email and make sure that you can get your own. So your unique @handle will be the primary identifier for your channel, which will make it easy for people to find and interact with you. They're going to be rolling out access for all channels on the platform over the next couple weeks. If you don't choose a handle by the 14th, YouTube will automatically assign you one based on your channel name. But no big deal. If you don't like it, you can change it later, which, is very helpful, because if you were one of those early adopters of YouTube, if you picked the name, and sometimes you were just stuck with it. So I'm really excited to see this start to kind of roll out. We already chose ours, so make sure you check us out at Music Marbles Radio Show on YouTube. Easy way to find us. And so just make sure you go ahead and take advantage of that. If you can't find it in your email, you should be able to check it out through your actual channel settings on YouTube. And I feel like this is going to change the game and definitely make it a lot easier for artists to be able to have fans find them. So,
hey,
yeah, you always want that. That's always a good thing, right?
Always. Even for the novice who may not have the actual knowledge or experience, there's always a way to slide your toe into something that an involvement, a business involvement, because actually it is a business involvement that could prosper for you. Mm-hmm. So, hey, salute for that.
Yep. All right, we're gonna take another pause for the cause, and then we'll be back before we head out for the night.
All right.
right, and that does it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We thank you again for joining us. It's a pleasure to be rocking with you. A huge thank you and shout out to our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Denver, Colorado. I mean, it's been a really, really great time. I enjoyed discussing the music industry news and tips and stuff with you as always, Breezy, and we hope that you got something out of it as well as a listener.
Oh yeah, the listeners win, and they get their sifter, all the different stories that are presented. They sift through them, and then there might be one that's making a big difference in their own lives that they can grab, run with, and work on and receive some profits from. So hey, there's some undercover nibbles in this. Mm-hmm. So don't let that don't feel like it's bland or anything like that, because there's some definite undercover nuggets in this. So sift through, find them, and apply them to yourself.
Absolutely. So you know where to find us. Till next time, tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.